Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 29th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Wednesday was pretty good for me. No real complaints. Actually, I dare say I was kind of giggling throughout a good chunk of the day, just kind of listening to some news that we'll be getting into and just overall podcasts that I like to listen to. It was just kind of funny, which is something I think about when I'm, tossing trash around and like people can kind of walk by and see me doing it. Or sometimes people will randomly come up to me and I'm like mid laugh and I'm like, people probably think I'm fucking crazy, just laughing to myself like I'm some maniacal villain or something. But hey, we move, we do what we do. That being said, the day was good. We got ice cream at work, so kind of just slipping into the food corner there. I got a vanilla and chocolate swirl. It was good. No sprinkles. Lately I've been doing anti-sprinkle because, I don't know, just not feeling them. Let's see, but I added some Nutter Butters that I got from the vending, area. So that was nice. That was yummy. I also brought in some Frito-Lays. I didn't put them on the ice cream or anything like that, but, I ate them alongside. And then I had my usual Nuts drink as well. So there you go. It was a nice little snacky poo for me. Let's see. Last night, what did we eat? I had pasta bolognese. It was very yummy, as per usual. I had a pretty big salad. And I had a bolillo roll and a bagel. So, yeah, it was a good meal. Oh, and then I also had mozzarella sticks. So, yeah, I ate way too much, as is tradition for me. All right, so yeah, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Actually, I kind of wanted to preamble about a little bit of news I've kind of missed, fell through the cracks for me. I know Louisiana State Congress, either their House, their Senate, they're trying to pass some bill to make it so that the Ten Commandments are in like every class. Good luck with that, I guess. I always hate when these like religious things come up. Like, it made more sense to me, I guess, when I was like really religious. But now that I'm out of that shit, you just see it so differently, and you're just like, this doesn't need to be here. And I think even when I was religious, I'm like, I know like the Ten Commandments, at least I did back then. Like, I don't need to see them in front of my class, like my classroom. I don't need to see them out anywhere. You don't need to make a statue of them or anything. I'm cool. Like, that's why we have a Bible. Like, isn't this kind of like idolatry? Anyway, like, that's a whole other thing. But let's see, another thing I kind of missed as well. North Carolina is trying to ban surgical masks, because crime. I love that. I love that excuse. Which don't get me wrong. Look, I get it. We're not living in like, oh, you should be super worried about COVID. Even though if you get COVID, it's fucking COVID still. Let's not fucking forget it. Anyway, especially long COVID. That shit fucking sucks. That being said, it's just crazy that we're moving to a point now where it's like we're still trying to criminalize like masking just because we can, just for points. I feel like the religious thing and with the Ten Commandments and also this, whether you're Louisiana, North Carolina, it's like the same kind of beat, and I fucking hate it because I do think this shit works on people. I've even had like people I consider like my fucking friends be like, oh yeah, man, like, no, I get it, crime is bad, and like you don't need these masks anymore, brother, just fucking take them off, goddamn pandemic. And it's like, dude, like, and they don't say it like that. My friends are that yee, but they say it in some kind of variation of that sometimes. And I'm like, look at you, like, why are we like this? Why are you like this? And I'll maybe try to give a little bit of rebuttal, but I'll be real with y'all. I'm too old and I'm too tired. Like at 33, I just don't feel like arguing with people about this shit anymore. Like I say this shit here, and like I will try to do my best, but like I'm not trying to convert. I'm sorry. I'm in Ohio, in the heart of it all. No, thank you. Anyway, enough about me. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and we'll get into some real news. Even though I did just kind of cover some real news on the side, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right. First story comes from the BBC. Israeli tanks reach central Rafah as strikes continue. Israeli forces have reportedly reached the center of the southern Gaza city of Rafah and seized a strategically important hill overlooking the nearby border with Egypt. Witnesses and local journalists said tanks were stationed at Al-Wada roundabout, which is considered a key landmark. They also said tanks were on Zorab Hill, effectively giving Israel control of the Philadelphia corridor, a narrow strip of land running along the border to the sea. The Israeli military said its troops were continuing activities against terror targets in Rafah, 3 weeks after it launched the ground operation there. Something that Joe Biden, the administration, has more or less said, hey, the invasion of Rafah is a big old fucking red line. But yet here we are, fucking halfway in, essentially, and you have fucking, the administration saying, no, it's fine. It's actually not an invasion. Like, yeah, we don't want to see any innocent civilian died or anything like that. But, like, what Israel is doing is still self-defense. They're still defending it on our tax dollar. I love that. I love that for us. That feels so great. It feels so great for us, just fucking funding a goddamn atrocity that we are just fucking like, almost like doing like malicious compliance style, except in this malicious compliance, you are actually bludgeoning the person to death, saying, I'm not fucking with you. I'm doing this for my self-defense. Stop being a terrorist. Yikes. The Israeli military said it was investigating the possibility that the fire was caused by the explosion of weapons stored by Hamas in the vicinity. I'm sorry. This is a bit of a wind back. I should just read a little bit further. Let's see. Western areas of the city also came under intense bombardment overnight, residents said, despite international condemnation of an Israeli airstrike and a resulting fire on Sunday that killed dozens of Palestinians at a tented camp for displaced people. That's something we covered previously. It also denied reports from local health and emergency services officials on Tuesday afternoon that tank shells had hit another camp in Al-Mawasi on the coast west of Rafah, killing at least 21 people. So it's crazy that they're trying to say, hey, we know we did this, oopsie, but like maybe we weren't the only cause here. Maybe this is just hidden ammunition from the terrorist targets that we were trying to hit anyway, so we're actually justified. Like, they're doing that, but then also completely denying shit that they are actually doing still. It's a crazy ongoing cycle that, turns my goddamn stomach. Because once again, like, my tax dollars are a part of that shit as an American. So that fucking sucks, and it's disgusting. And obviously I get, once again, just kind of talking about Biden and the whole election thing, dude. Like, this man's hands are just actively covered. You just can't say that they aren't. So I fucking get it why people are not down to clown. I get why they're not riding with Biden, dude. I fucking get it. Trump fucking sucks, man. I understand. But, like, this shit is also happening on a Democrat's watch, So, it goes back to that whole same bird fucking conversation. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to pull here. I know there's more details. Last thing I did actually want to pull from this article, at least 36,090 people have been killed in Gaza since then, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. I always love how they have to say Hamas-run health ministry, and sure shit enough, they have to mention the paragraph before, don't forget October 7th. Don't forget that happened, even though you should forget about all the history that leads up to that point, of course. But we're not done. We're not done with Israel and Gaza. There's one more thing I wanted to cover in the region, things that are happening in this conflict. From CNN, U.S. pier constructed off Gaza has broken apart. Great. The temporary pier constructed by the U.S. military to transport aid in Gaza broke apart and sustained damage in heavy seas on Tuesday, in a major blow to the American-led effort to create a maritime corridor for humanitarian supplies into the war-torn enclave, the Pentagon said. The pier was damaged, and sections of the pier need rebuilding and repairing. Something that they said is going to take about 2 weeks, I believe. Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said on Tuesday, the pier will be removed from its location on the Gaza coast over the next 48 hours and taken to the Israeli port of Ashdod, where the U.S. Central Command will carry out repairs. The repairs will take more than a week, furthering delay the effort to get to the maritime corridor fully operating. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. This is already a problem because this is drops in a goddamn bucket. Like, you need to like this pier jetty shit was all to get things onto a car or truck, whatever, to then get them to people. Like, at the end of the day, it's just another in-run around because Israel is just blocking these goddamn, gates and any kind of way into Gaza. And essentially, anytime you even try, you have the situation where with World's Kitchen, where just everyone gets mowed down and killed savagely, and they go, "Oh, we made a mistake. We're sorry. We're going to investigate that. That shouldn't have happened." I mean, shit. You also have settlers literally just fucking throwing goddamn aid on the ground and just ruining it, wrecking it. So, that's great. That's an awesome balance to all this going on. And reading this, talking about this shit, it takes me back to a Twitter post that I saw. And I remember my liberal sensibilities were kind of like heckled, but it was so real. And I don't remember if I've talked about it on the pod, so I'm going to talk about it again. But essentially they said, this jetty is the quintessential same thing. Like, this is the liberal democratic equivalent to Trump's and conservatives saying you should build a wall to keep out the Mexicans. And I said, that's so crazy to make that kind of comparison. They aren't the same things at all, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't correlate, but it's so bad. But it's like, no, it is the same head-ass fucking logic. Like, we threw $320 million at this jetty. It hasn't worked for like longer than a week, I believe. I think they got it up in the 17th and and some storms blew it over. Like, this is some fucking Humpty Dumpty ass fucking shit, dude. So, not to mention, even if it is working at peak capacity, it's not doing enough. It just makes me think that Twitter user was fucking right. You know what I mean? They were spot on the goddamn money because this shit isn't doing anything for anyone. It was only used to get political points, and it's all it's done. Except at the same time, it's just more clown fucking makeup for us as Americans because it's like, once again, we're funding that, and it's not doing a damn thing for anybody. So that's great. That's awesome. I fucking love that for us. It doesn't make me want to fucking puke. Anyway, let's move on to some news that made me giggle. And I should say that I shouldn't maybe giggle because if I was on the receiving end of said balloon that I'm about to talk about, I wouldn't be too happy. I'd be a little fucking upset. Okay? But it made me laugh, and I want to talk about it. So let's dive in. A lot of CNN today. From CNN, North Korean trash balloons are dumping filth on South Korea. So like I said, this is not the kind of balloon that I want to be seeing or smelling. It is not the kind of balloon that I want to see popped over my house or my car, whatever. No way. No, thank you. But North Korea has adopted a new strategy to contend with its southern neighbor, sending floating bags of trash containing filth across the border, carried by massive balloons. The South Korean military began noticing large amounts of balloons arriving from the north starting Tuesday night, detecting more than 150 as of Wednesday morning, according to the country's Joint Chiefs of Staff, or the JCS. Photos released by the JCS shows plastic bags carried by two giant balloons, with some broken packages spilling scraps of plastic, sheets of paper, and what appear to be dirt onto roads and sidewalks. And I have to add here, CNN is being a little bit too nice in my opinion, because when I listened to the story on the BBC, and when I looked it up to confirm this shit was involved. Excrement. Now, I think that the analysts are saying it was animal excrement, but can you motherfucking imagine that you're just trying to do your daily or whatever, you're living your life, maybe you're just having a nice little crazy random night out on a Tuesday night, you're being crazy on a Tuesday, South Korea style, and next thing you know, there's some leaky trash balloon floating over your head, putting doo-doo and waste or whatever on you, or rather, ooh. So I had to talk about this shit, man. And it's worth saying because I want to kind of get, I guess, maybe to the North Korean perspective a little bit. Let's see here. I do love this part though. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un's younger sister Kim Yo Jong, who's also a senior official in the reclusive regime, referred to the activities as freedom of expression, which I thought was very cheeky. Let's see here. But Kim himself compared North Korea's actions to South Korea's years-long practice of sending balloons with anti-North Korea leaflets towards her nation. I guess it was still the other Kim, the sister. I'm sorry. Let's see here. We've done some of the things they always do, but I don't know why they're making a big deal. Like they've been hit by a shower of fire, Kim said. So yeah, I mean, I kind of get that. And in terms of like the balloons and shit, there's been like, defector groups that will send over leaflet balloons or like USBs with like information of like what it's like in the other, like on the other side, like past this border, like, how, like, kind of just how you've been so oppressed and isolated. And essentially that's propaganda. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I know there's two sides to a story. I've also learned a lot more about Korea that makes me kind of get why North Korea kind of moves the way that it moves. And even though I think being a crackpot theocracy wasn't the best call, I also get why you just are like, yeah, we're not going to submit to whatever the fuck America wants. Like, that's not the fucking move either. We're not going to become some goddamn client state to these pieces of shit. I get that as well. So, I don't know. And another thing I think about too is like one of the first times I learned about like South Korean like defectors and stuff sending over information and stuff. Like they would send over like movies and stuff. And like I heard one story of like someone sending over a USB drive of like the Titanic, because people had never seen it. And that's obviously a big movie in the West, and it's kind of just made its way, across the world. And like someone in North Korea, like illegally, like watching Titanic for their life was always something that was like kind of instilled in me early on learning about this shit. I don't know. So yeah, I think this is a very interesting tit for tat between North and South Korea. I get it that once again, if I'm a South Korean, I would not want to get a doo-doo balloon over my home. No, thank you. No, sir. It would definitely ignite my nationalistic fervor if I had to endure that. But once again, just kind of looking at it from, I guess, my armchair, a bird's eye view, if you will. I don't know. There's something to it that just makes me giggle, and I don't know. I kind of get it. I kind of see where they're coming from. That was a cheeky little medieval play, if you will, in 2024. So yeah, we're still talking about balloons, baby. And I will say these balloons are better than the Chinese, spy balloon situation. This is way more interesting to me. All right, we have a couple more things to cover, so we're almost done. I know I'm kind of talking a little long here. From Yahoo Sports, charges against Scotty Scheffler dropped in police incident during PGA Championship. Louisville officials have dropped all charges against Scotty Scheffler stemming from a traffic incident outside Valhalla Golf Club on May 17th. The dismissal of charges brings to a close one of the strangest incidents in a bizarre era for men's golf. Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell announced during a Wednesday afternoon hearing that all charges against Scheffler would be dropped. O'Connell indicated that the county agreed that Scheffler's versions of events did not rise to the level of criminal conduct, and the charges were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they cannot be refiled. The entire hearing lasted 6 minutes. I love that for him. I love this for this nice and, dare I say, nice and white golfer. It couldn't happen to a better person. I'm sorry, but hey, good for him. Let's see. I do want to read a little bit more. Detective Gillis did not have his body cam turned on during the incident, so close-up video of the interaction was unavailable. Go back to the episode, I guess, if you would like to get the recap, or just simply Google what happened. But Gillis claimed that Scheffler dragged him along the pavement, causing injury to Gillis and damage to his pants. His pants were ruined. Scheffler claimed that he stopped when told to and accepted his arrest without significant protest, besides asking the journalist to be like, hey, dog, can you help me? And I guess I'll go ahead and add a little bit of pretense since I'm kind of just giving you splotches. Essentially, someone had died. I think he kind of like walked out into like the street, highway, whatever. It had caused the whole thing. There was a cop out kind of doing patrols the whole day. Scheffler was trying to get to this event, kind of doing a little bit of like pre-prep workout for this Valhalla or for this PGA tournament, whatever, at this golf club. And he was trying to drive around, and according to him and his lawyer, he had like had his little credentials out and was like, hey, I'm driving around, I'm doing the thing that I normally would do in a situation like this, weird, crazy day. They didn't know, I guess, at the time, someone had died earlier that day. This cop, though, goes into full, like, RoboCop mode and, like, proceeds to, like, stitch to the vehicle, tell Scheffler, stop the car, you're fucking up my pants. And then, like, opens up the door, pulls out Scheffler, and proceeds to arrest him. And, like, all while, like, a journalist guy conveniently is, like, witnessing in the whole event. So... but no body cam though. That was, inconveniently turned off. And, I guess once again, we're going to just take this guy's word for it because he's a rich, famous dude who, once again, is white. So he's probably fine. He's probably okay. It was probably a misunderstanding. They literally use the word misunderstanding. And I love that because if you take the money away, if you take the fucking like color out of the situation, switch it up a little bit, we're not having a misunderstanding anymore. This is a criminal issue. And all of a sudden, the cop's word is completely law. So I love that. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of turn. Maybe you wouldn't hear that on CNN. But that's why you got me, motherfuckers. Anyway, I have one more thing I did want to cover, and this was like breaking news. I was initially just going to cover the initial 4. But this has happened. This is a bit of an update, so I figured, hey, why not? Let's end on a bang. Instead of a vroom, ooh, I'm sorry. Anywho, you know what that means since we're at the end. Let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll get into it. All right. Looks like we're back. From the Associated Press. An Iceland volcano starts erupting again, shooting lava into the sky. So this is from Iceland, Reykjavik, or Reykjavik, Iceland, however you like it. A volcano in the southwestern Iceland erupted Wednesday for the 5th time since December, spewing red lava that once again threatened the coastal town of Reykjavik and led to the evacuation of the popular Blue Lagoon geothermal spa. The eruption began in the early afternoon following a series of earthquakes north of the town of 3,800 people that was largely evacuated in December when the volcano came to life after centuries of dormancy and put on an impressive show of nature's power. Although the activity began to calm down by early evening, initial estimates found the eruption was the most vigorous in the area so far, as lava shot 50 meters or 165 feet into the sky from a fissure that grew to 3.5 kilometers or 2.1 miles in length. The Icelandic meteorological, I cannot say this word right now, meteorological, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed, office said, the meteorological, the weather people, fuck. Barriers built to protect Reykjavik deflected the flowing lava that cut off 2 of the 3 roads leading to town and was closed to reaching the 3rd. So yeah, I mean, this is an update I wanted to talk about. It doesn't look like there's been any loss of life, so that's good. But that being said, it does seem to be getting hotter and heavier. So yeah, there's that. And I think that's where we're gonna leave it today before I make a bigger clown of myself. But yes, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, throw some strange change my way, become a newsie today. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Free ways to contact me, hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe, or hit whatever follow button. Love to see that. Please leave a like, comments, sharing is caring, always helps out. But yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.